Hi, I'm Michelle Brain and I am the Midwife Hypnotist. And if you don't want to miss out on any tips or tricks on having a positive life, having a wonderful pregnancy and birth, and raising happy and positive children, then subscribe now. I would really love it if you subscribed. And today we're just doing a few clips on wonderful things that have happened during hypnotherapy. So we've already talked about a gentleman who was a hypnotherapist who had a heart condition, who used hypnotherapy so that he didn't have to have surgery. And we've talked about a woman in labour that used hypnotherapy so that she didn't have to have that intervention from the doctors. And today I just wanted to talk about two people that I saw with weight loss. The first one was quite simple. It was a lady in her mid-40s. She had children that had left home. She was a little bit overweight. I wouldn't say a lot, but that was what she wanted to do. And the simple conversation about where she was in her life, where she was in her family, was really all that she needed to understand. She'd actually created a pyramid, whereas all the family was above her in this pyramid, and she was way down at the bottom. She was constantly thinking about them, as you do when you have young children. You tend to put everybody else first. However, her children had left home. She was about to be a grandmother. And she'd realised that she'd kept herself on the bottom of that pyramid. And it was time to start doing things for her. She'd constantly looked after work far beyond what she had to. She'd constantly been doing for her husband, her children that had left home. And she'd forgotten about her. And although that sounds quite simple, she really didn't know it until I asked her in a trance to think about what was missing in her life. That was all. And the second lady was something quite similar. She was a midwife that I worked with, and her daughter had just been married. And she'd seen the wedding photos and realised that how overweight she was. Yet she used to come to work and eat grapes and apples and really healthy food, and small amounts of it. Night duty, she would just chew on almonds. So it was quite confusing to me as to what was going on. Because when I asked her about a diet, she told me we went over the week before exactly what she'd eaten. And everything was so healthy. In fact, she'd probably eaten less than I had. Yet, when she went into trance and I asked her to think about what she'd eaten that day, and the day before, and the day before that, she opened her eyes and she cried. And she said, "Michelle, I had no idea." She'd been eating unconsciously. She'd been walking around doing what she does at work or at home and picking things up and eating them. And she had no idea that she was doing it. It all just made so much sense to her. She was unconsciously eating. So that's just two beautiful stories about weight and how just a simple trance can show you so much of what's going on. So check out my website, michellebrain.com, and just contact me if you want to have a chat.